Right. So this is about a proposal document, a sample proposal document in context to the core insurance management system modernization for any of the client that we pro- propose. Because based on the request for proposal generally we receive whenever we are working on the projects. So based on the request for proposal document, we need to provide the quotation for the customer. At the same time, we need to come up with some project proposal as well. In that regard, how these proposals can be created and what are the key points that we have to be mentioned over these are very, very important. In the process of in the process of it, this is what the whole stuff is, wherein I am showing you about a core insurance management system modernization, wherein consider, for example, customer wants some migration from legacy infrastructure to the modern way of policy management or insurance management, and it must be a cloud native. Okay, if this is the requirement, wherein we need to provide a strategic roadmap for that. So, how this can be uh, executed and how this can be performed and how this can be established is important. So, there are key points one should be knowing first. The first one, wherein we start with the executive summary, wherein we have to uh, identify what could be the possible challenge, what are the challenges that customer is facing based on the business interaction we had with people, based on the business situation and interacting with stakeholders, external stakeholders and all that. So you will be knowing, right? So wherein we have identified, let us assume, right? This is all based on the assumption basis I'm explaining. So assume that the existing aging legacy system, which is limited in terms of the growth, and due to the regular operations that we are managing, operational cost is more because of the manual intervention and the legacy system. At the same time, there was no proper compliance risk mechanism, right? So nothing as such. Why? Due to the reason behind, as I told you, it's a manual process, everything is being involved in it. At the same time, the kind of data hinder agility and all everything is low, right? So it's not so competitive in terms of the market. So these are the major challenges. So being into the analyst roles or being into the implementation team, I can say it's not more of analyst, I can say, but in general, for every implementation team member, whoever is involved in, so you need to have a 360-degree understanding. Not only an analyst, it can be for technical roles and all. We need to have a 360-degree understanding. So, first of all, understanding over the challenge is more important. That is point number one. Second, about the approach. Approach means what kind of approach are we following to implement this? Because when we are providing a proposal, we need to provide as the approach. Our approach is majorly a zero disruption migration modern core platform, wherein we are going to automate the policy lifecycle, claims, billing, at the same time reinsurances and etc. So everything is based on the some real-time analytics, right? So you want to build. This is what the approach we have. And for any proposal, it's always important what is the outcome that you are going to provide end of the day that we have to be explained to the customer client. The outcome is 40% reduction in IT operational cost because in terms of the investment of the infrastructure, because legacy systems were on-premise systems, right? So infrastructure investment at the same time operational cost, running cost can be reduced because of the modernizing of insurance management system that we develop. At the same time, 60% faster time to market for any new products that we are going to adopt. At the same time, this platform that we are building should be scalable for the next 20 years. That scalability is important because in future there can be some requirements which can change. The application should have that facility to scale up to the next level. So we are keeping into an account where this application can be scaled for the next 20 years. So these are the three major things. One is about the challenge one should understand. Second, we have to understood the kind of approach that we are about to develop. At the same time, what must be the outcome behind. So this is an executive summary. First, we have to develop. That is point number one. Second, why modernization is required now. So that detailing is needed because legacy system, as I told you, let's consider that it's a mainframe system which we have developed, which was developed in COBOL mainframe system, which may not be supportive. It can be expensive to maintain, and if you want to scale to the next level, may not be possible due to the rigidity, right? So due to the it's not so scalable, right? So because of the old systems and all legacy technical debt, because of it, modernization we are going. The reason behind. Second, manual processes involved in the old legacy systems where even either it can be underwriting process or it can be claim process, etc. Everything is manually intervention, which takes time to perform the activities. There can be a possibility where we may get some errors. At the same time, customer experience can also be sometimes poorer. So manual intervention is more in the legacy, wherein we are moving towards the modernization. The next about no real-time analytics, because we are managing reporting, right? So we must be relying on batch jobs and all everything in 24 to 48 hours of time. So there are no real-time analytics earlier in the legacy one. Next, see all the data, like what are the policy billing or claims that we are managing, everything that are being managed in the separate systems. There is no real-time integration because let's say that you want to generate how many people have taken policies, have applied for claims and completed in last 3 4 months, 3 months or 6 months. You want to know it as a insurer. We wants to know because as there is no integration among policy billing and claims and all, so integration would be as there is no real-time integration, so that report generations and customer viewpoint and etc. cannot be identified. So sealed data that has to be, that is one of the core problem identified where we want to have solutions. So we are providing a modernization system, a cloud native kind, where we are updating and integrating all the three distinct processes. So that can be one reason behind we are going for modernization. Next, about the compliance risk. Compliance risk because of the inability to quickly adapt to the IRDA or regulatory changes. It can be of any regulatory standards of the respective country. So changes due to the rigid and as well as hardcore business rules, because the system itself is something rigid, as I told you in the beginning, and business rules are very hard coded. So that depends on the regulatory standards of that country. Either it can be of any respective country. So they have their own regulatory body. Based on the regulatory body, the compliance standards has to be developed. So compliance risk is also one of the key area. Next, about the rising cost. Rising cost wherein maintaining legacy maintenance itself is consuming somewhere around 70% of the IT budget, because IT cost in terms of the investment and operational cost is more because they have to invest on the infrastructure in terms of the investment and maintenance. So IT cost raises in the legacy system. The reason behind we are going for modernization. So these are the observations when we interact with customer in all means, with stakeholders in all means, you will be knowing. So then when we want to have the project proposal to be prepared uh, for any modernization that you want to be moved on, right? So understanding all this through observation, you will be knowing, and through interaction, you will be knowing. It's not something that you will be getting this information in a day or two, right? So it's a process wherein by interacting with people, exchanging of documents, exchanging of presentations, right? So you will be knowing all that. This is the second thing. Next, proposed platform architecture. What must be the proposed platform architecture? So the understanding we have to provide to the client. It's a fully integrated API first cloud native core insurance platform we are developing, where you will be having customer and agent portals. We have enability of mobile apps also. That is one thing on a high level note as an integration. The first architecture on the high level we are going to develop. So this can be explained, right? So we have even a call center CRM also. To connect these and all, we are using API gateway integration, and RESTful API can be used. And Kafka now and then we are using in regular intervals as well as GraphQL, etc. So this technology stack can be anything. Based on this is not only the technology stack. As an example, I'm taking the technology stack can be something different as per our budget, as per our timelines, as per our expertise, as per our technical requirements. This can vary. Okay, so exactly not the same. Technology stack can vary. Next, core modules, policy, billing, claims, reinsurance, underwriting is also that. Next, rules engine, business rules engine has to be updated. Based on that, we have to provide instruction to the system to perform it. Any fraudulent activities or claims that is received, that has to be identified through AML, wherein by creating some patterns or something and creating some analytical and reporting, everything can be done in this. Last but not least, as it's a cloud native platform we want to develop, it must be cloud infrastructure, AWS or Azure or microservices architectural style, and DevOps operations pipelines, everything can be used here. This is the proposed platform architecture we need to develop with. This is another one. So, modernizing at the same time proposed platform architecture. This is what the one we are about to develop. This is something that we have to be explained. Next, what are the core platform modules? Already policy, billing, claims, reinsurance, collections, underwriting, analytics, and reporting. These are all the points. Next, how are we doing this, right? So, what is the migration approach that we follow? There are multiple migration, wherein for the first phase is called discovery and design phase, where we are trying to understand about the current system and how the data mapping should happen. And if you want to do it, you must be knowing about gap analysis. What is the earlier system and what the system that you are about to develop? Gap analysis should happen. At the same time, we should understand the future state architecture design. What could be the possible future state we wants to be developed? And how the migration playbook and risk registers, everything. Right? Discovery and design is the first phase we do, wherein these are the probable approximate timelines I have given, somewhere around 1 to 3 months of time I have given. It can be much earlier or later also. These are all approximate based on giving, may not be the exact the same. This is varying, depends on the condition to condition, project to project. Second, foundation and integration, which will take somewhere around roughly 4 to 8 months of time, wherein what are the cloud infrastructure provisioning or API gateways that we are integrating or data lake or security and compliance and hardening. And also that foundation integration is the second. Third, about the core modules, what we are developing, either it can be policy billing, claims or something. Okay. So for that, it will be of 9 to 6 months of time, 9 to 16 months of time, followed by this cutover and optimization, which will be for 17 to 20 months for the full production of cutover and all that. So these are the phased migration approaches generally that we see. Because when we are providing a proposal, customer will ask us that what is our approach and how are we following. This is how generally the migration steps that can be explained to the customer and what kind of business benefits customer expecting, because customer is investing on money. They expect some return of investment out of that. So business benefits and return of investment we have to explain, so that we have to measure the outcomes of the comparable modernization program. So wherein due to the modernization of legacy cloud native, 40% IT reduction can be done, 60% fast product launch can be done, and claims efficiency will be faster of more of 3x, and a low ratio of improvement. So 25% through AI driven, this can be done. This can be achieved. So these are the major business, because end of the day, a customer has invested, a stakeholder, end user has invested money, customer, stakeholder. They expect return of investment out of it. So in what way this is going to be beneficial to them. So that even we have to explain. That is even important. Next, who are our delivery teams, right? So all that stuff, and what is the investment and what should be the next steps, etc., will be taken into account later. So this is something when we are coming up with some project proposal. for any new system that we want about to develop based on the requirements that we have received on a high level note. By combining all the people, right? So considering all the technical team, implementation team, business teams, project management team, all these teams put together, we have to come up with this proposal so that once the proposal is ready, then we deliver to the customer, uh, explain this to the customer across the table. Any changes, it's negotiations in terms of the updations. So everything will be followed by. And finally, we will be landing on agreement and we'll process that to the next level. That's how generally these are all will be taken place.